Hi guys, Gena here. Today I want to talk about our emotional guidance system and being empowered. So emotions, how have they got anything to do with being empowered? Well, first and foremost, being empowered means that we take full responsibility for everything that goes on in our lives. The way we think, the way we feel, and the way that we respond or react to outside events. That is all our responsibility. Now, you can sit there possibly and think to yourself, but there are things that happen outside of me that are outside of my control. I can't be responsible for those. And that's true. You can't be responsible for the things that happen outside of your control, but you are responsible for how you respond to those things. So if you, for example, were to, get really angry or get really sad or yell or scream or call someone particular names or whatever else it is in response to whatever it is that happened outside, that is your responsibility. So the way that you respond, the way that you react, that is your responsibility. So your emotional guidance system is your way of guiding you to what it is that you need to work on. So when we talk about the emotions arise based on thoughts. So you think of something and then the emotion comes afterwards. When you are responding to an external scenario or a person, a thought arises first in response to that scenario, and then the feeling comes about, and then the actual reaction. So let me give you an example. Someone calls me a particular name or says something nasty about me. If I think that is really bad, or I think that's not true, or I think that's, not fair, or I feel unjustified that someone has said these things about me, then those thoughts are going to go on in my mind, and then the emotion's going to come out, and then the response is going to come out. So the emotional guidance system can be used to your advantage in this scenario. And the way we do that is we look at every single opportunity as an opportunity to grow and learn as a person. And that is the empowered stance. That is in opposition to a victim stance. So what a victim stance would be: if someone was to say something about me and it upset me, I would sit there and I would say, well, it's not my fault. I'm upset because that person made me feel this way, and that's why I did it. I yelled at them and I said these nasty things because they made me do it. They did this, they did that, they did that. Now you notice that all that language is about deferring responsibility over to someone else. It is somebody else's fault. That is what a victim state is. An empowered state is, yeah, they said a whole bunch of this stuff, but it was up to me as to how I reacted, how I responded, how I felt, and how I thought about the situation. So what does that look like? Well, in the scenario where I would say someone was saying something to me, the best way to handle it from an empowered point of view is to pause. So many times we think that we need to respond like that, straight away, bang. As soon as something happens, you need to throw something straight back. Sometimes the pause is all that's needed. Now, in that pause, you can ask yourself questions. So someone says something and then you ask, is it true? Is what they are saying actually true? If it's not true, then I suppose the next path to go down on, well, it's not true, so why do I care? It's true for them, or they obviously have some sort of intent in saying it, but it's not true. And the moment you dispel something as being not true, you can start to wind down any emotional response. If it is true, then you need to ask yourself the next question of, why is it making me feel this way? If it is true, why am I getting this emotional reaction? What is the cause? What is the belief behind this? Why am I buying into this thought? If it is true, is this making me upset because it's an area that I want to improve, an area that I'm ashamed of, something I feel guilty about, something I wish I could change? All of these things are opportunities. So in the pause, when we ask ourselves the question, is it true? Yes or no? If it is true, what is within my control here? Why am I feeling this way? Is this an opportunity to change something and work on something? So what we can see here is that the emotional guidance system allows you the opportunity to grow, to develop, to become more. And in the end, you can actually be grateful for the person who triggered the emotion in you. Because by triggering that emotion in you, they have highlighted an area that you potentially want to work on. So what we do there is then we're grateful. We're grateful for the person or the opportunity that triggered up this emotion in us. Now, does that mean that we always get it right? No. There'll still be times where, a certain scenario will be very emotive and it will trigger a response and you don't take the pause, you don't breathe, and you don't think about it. That is still okay as long as when we reflect back afterwards, we can take responsibility for our own actions, our own thoughts, and our own feelings. And in the reflection, we can come to conclusions about what we would do next time or what we are going to work on. So again, every situation allows you an opportunity to grow as a person, provided you take personal responsibility. The moment that you say, you made me feel this way or you did this, you are no longer taking responsibility and you have disempowered yourself. So empowerment comes from taking responsibility. Victimhood comes from deferring responsibility onto somebody else, giving up your power and making it somebody else's fault. Now you might be thinking, well, why do we do that? Why do we hand off responsibility onto somebody else? Why do we give away our power so easily? Because sometimes it can be really difficult to take personal responsibility for your own actions, your own thoughts, your own feelings. It's easier. It's the easy option to actually just hand off the responsibility. It's also a sign of maturity. Being able to take personal responsibility is a sign of maturity. Think back to when you were kids. When things get too hard, you just hand it off to mum and dad will do it. Mum and dad will fix it. Or if something didn't go your way, mum and dad would just come in and sort it out for you. It's kind of the same thing, same mentality, just in adulthood. You don't have mum and dad to come and fix it for you, but instead what you do is you make it somebody else's problem. So that you don't have to deal with it. So you don't have to be uncomfortable. You don't have to confront whatever it is that's going on. So what we do is we hand off the responsibility by placing blame on something else rather than taking that personal empowered position. But if personal growth and development and empowerment are your goals, the first place you need to start is your emotional guidance system, your thoughts and your feelings and how you respond to people. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And thanks for watching. Bye.